Okay. Uh, Second type of basic requirement is the unit operations. Now, unit operations particularly, it is physical phenomenon that involves different types of operations to convert physical form of raw materials so that commercially they can be used as a raw material for manufacturing of different types of products, right? So by considering different operations, physical form of raw material is converted into another form in such manner that it can be used for the purpose of manufacturing process. So the unit operations carried out for mass transfer process, mixing of different types of raw materials. That is, if we want to manufacture nitrobenzene, what is the raw material? That is benzene plus nitrating mixture prepared from nitric acid and sulfuric acid. So the mixing process is carried out. Then what is the need of this reaction? Nitration need is the to maintain the temperature of overall reaction, right? So nitration always takes place at 0 degrees Celsius. So our operating process is to maintain the overall temperature of the process up to 0 degrees Celsius. So we have to organize ice bath and then put the reaction mixture in this ice bath for the particular process, and we are going to add nitrating mixture drop by drop. This is the mixing process. That's why mixing is one of the unit operating process or one of the unit operation, right? The next regularly utilized process is a pulverization. Now what is pulverization? Those raw material which is obtained present in the large, bulky, lumps type of form, that is having no particular size, and that's why we have to reduce its size by the pulverization process. For this purpose, hammering is used, grinding is used. By hammering and grinding process, we can minimize the size of reacting material size. So this overall process is called as pulverization. That is one of the unit operation. So this is one of the operating process. Then next is the separation and purification of raw material. No doubt, the crude raw material is needs to be separate from its impurities, dust and other material. So separation and purification of raw material is essential. So mass transfer, mixing and polarization, separation and purification of raw material, these are the some regularly used operations which can change the physical form of raw material. So this is the simplest definition related with the particular unit operation. So according to this process, there are some regularly used unit operations are, that is the heat transfer process, evolution of heat. Second one is the evaporation. Those raw material which is available from mine It may contains excess quantity of hydrated form or the dissolved water molecules, and it needs to remove that particular moisture from the raw material. The simple process which is regularly carried out is the evaporation. It may be carried out by natural drying process also. This is the evaporation. Then third regular unit operation operating process which is carried out is distillation and sublimation. No doubt. Why we are going to work out distillation? That is, whenever two different types of liquid form of raw material are mixed and we have to separate it, having temperature either below 100 degrees Celsius or below 150 degrees Celsius. For this purpose, it needs to carry out distillation. Then second unit operation is the sublimation. Those products, compounds or raw material is having a sublimating tendency, property. Then sublimation is also one of the technique which is used for purification. So evaporation, distillation and sublimation, these are carried out for the purpose of purification. Then third, another technique which is used for purification is the crystallization. If the solid form of raw material is present and it contains different types of solids, then crystallization is carried out. Similarly, solvent extraction is also carried out for the purpose of purification technique. So, evaporation, distillation, sublimation, crystallization, all these techniques are used for purification purpose. If the raw material is present in the form of liquid, distillation is carried out. If the raw material is having sublimating tendency, sublimation is carried out. If the raw material is present in crystal form or solid form, crystallization is carried out. If the compounds are having difference in their distribution ratio, distribution coefficient, partition coefficient, then raw material is purified according to solvent extraction process. So these are the techniques are continuously used. Then third technique which is regularly used is the filtration. If impurities are present in the form of dust material, filtration is carried out. Then adsorption is also one of the technique is used for unit operating process, and size reduction and crushing is also one of the technique which is used regularly during the unit operations of different types of raw material. So unit operations are nothing but the technique which is used for mixing, purification and the purification of technique which can transform the physical form of raw material into its purest form. Such operations are called as unit operations. So mixing, dissolution, centrifugation, screening and sieving is all are the some examples of unit operation process. So in general, those physical transitions which are carried out in different types of chemical industries or any type of industries are simply termed as the unit operations without making any type of chemical changes. So these particles are called as a unit operation. This is the simplest definition of unit operation. So okay, so it is overall about unit operations and its process.